Welcome to the GOAT Show, the show where we celebrate and debate all things great. I am joined by my co-hosts, Fresh and Deezy. My name is ZiLLY, aka Ravine. Gentlemen, how you doing today?
Bro, I'm doing better than you because I can tell that now you got a little bit of fluster on your face. If you need to go use the washroom, sir, you can go.
I'm gonna hold it as long as I can. I'm gonna hold it as long as I can because Fresh decided to start the show.
Nah, see, the problem is once you click, it takes 5 seconds to start. I already clicked, and then you're like, wait, and I can't stop it at that point.
All right. Well, if I have to, I will take a short break and go to the bathroom. But Deezy's out here already, he's saying we got shooters. He's already pointing at the screen, shooting people up. Kind of like Tory Lanez.
Damn.
Out here shooting.
Tory got shooters because he ain't the shooter.
Well, he got stabbed a bunch.
You got stabbers.
Guy,
yeah. That's gonna be a theme of today's episode, everybody. We gotta save our black men in this country. All right, they out here being put in prison too much. They out here, black women sabotaging our black men. That's what it's about today. I said it.
Jay, you spicy.
I said it. I had a little beam, or not beam. Sorry, Jameson. This is what happens, Jameson. We don't sponsor the show. I can start talking about the other competitors that you have.
Also, we're live on YouTube, boys. Everything looks good.
Okay, great. We switched over some things with YouTube. So, I mean, it's inside baseball, but whatever. We're happy to be broadcasting out to you, YouTube. So, you guys should share this episode. You guys should maybe comment on this episode. I don't care. I mean, I just said some controversial shit. I don't even know if I believe it. I just said it. I'm just in that mode today, guys. Saying wild shit. But yeah, if you like the episode, share it. But also, we want to hear your comments. We want to hear your thoughts on today's episode because it's going to be a spicy one. It's going to be a little controversial. All right, we're talking about a couple of controversial things that happened recently. So the first of which, like I said, Tory Lanez. Now, listen, I ain't really got a dog in this fight. And it seems like I do, but I don't really have a dog in this fight. I just like starting shit.
I have a dog in this fight.
You do have a dog.
My Toronto brethren. My
brother. Right, he's from. Okay, so let's talk about him because I mean there may be some boomer ass people like me watching this episode. Can you give us maybe a quick kind of rundown of who this Tory Lanez fella is, Fresh?
Bro, so Tory Lanez grew up in Brampton, Ontario, which is outside of it's I guess considered the greater Toronto area now. It's outside of the Toronto metropolitan. He used to like freestyle battle at school and stuff. That's how I first saw him, is like early days of YouTube. He was really, really young. He was battling outside of schools and stuff like that. Then he kept like making mixtapes after mixtapes after mixtape after like, and he would make these things called the chicks tapes. So he would make like all these songs for the ladies. Mm-hmm. And eventually, bro, he got like a lot of recognition, became like a star in his own right, and then started driving in lanes with guys like Drake and stuff.
Gotcha. So I think a lot of people, if they do know about Tory Lanez, so much of like the controversy around his arrest in 2020 seems to be what everybody knows him for, unfortunately, more than I think his music. But the reason we're talking about him is because a couple of days ago, he was in prison and apparently he got stabbed up by a fellow prisoner.
14 times, bro.
14 times.
7 times in the lungs.
Both of his lungs collapsed.
Yeah.
He was put on a breathing machine.
But apparently now he's been moved back to the jail hospital.
Mm-hmm.
He's breathing on his own and he's able to speak. So all good things, all good news.
Free Tory, bro. I think that he served his time. I think every stab is worth at least a year. So he should be able to.
Maybe more, man. I'll be honest with you. Maybe more. Bro.
They should.
He only got sentenced to 10. Let him come home.
Like, he's he's such a high profile person. They put him in general population. Like,
yeah, this is why I believe they did it to him. Right?
Success, dude, or not success for failure.
Let me pause this right there. Okay, so just for people who may not know, so he got arrested from my understanding, because somehow, some way, he was hanging out with Meg Thee Stallion, another pop star rapper, lovely young lady. Apparently, they were dating or doing something. They were hanging out. Somehow, some way, she got shot. They said that he shot her and got 10 years for it. Is that accurate, or what's the real story?
Basically, the story is, I mean, the story is jumbled. There's a lot of information that we have. What we have is that they were at a party at Kylie Jenner's house.
Okay.
Kylie got mad, or sorry, Meg got mad at Kylie, something to do with Tory. I think they may have messed around. I'm not really sure, but they got mad. They left. And then in the car, they're arguing, and Meg gets out of the car. Kelsey, her best friend, like gets out of the car, like all kinds of shit is going on. And then through all of this, a gun is produced and some shots are fired. Okay. The only witness on the scene said that her best friend had the gun and Tory tried to stop her. Okay. The first medical reports that we got said that Meg stepped on glass, that she didn't get shot. And now the newest testimony we got, which is why I believe he got stabbed, is from Meg's bodyguard, saying that Kelsey, her best friend, is the one who discharged the firearm. And the problem with all this is that Kelsey got immunity to testify against Tory. And if she's the one who actually had the gun and shot the gun and got immunity for shooting Meg to put Tory behind bars for a crime he didn't commit, that's a problem. However, he's not charged for shooting Meg. He's charged for being a felon in possession of and discharging a firearm.
Okay. So, I mean, if he is a felon and he had a firearm and he wasn't supposed to, then and I can understand the 10-year sentence. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that I can understand why you got the 10 years because, I mean, it's kind of a serious offense if you're a felon and you have a firearm. I'm not saying I agree.
I mean, that's debatable, Mr. Libertarian.
No. Listen, I'm not saying I agree with that sentence.
But it is the letter of the law.
The law would
got to follow the letter of the law. If we want to change it, we got to change the law.
Yeah. No, right? I don't think it's fine for felons to have firearms. I really do. I think
because you could be a felon for something so stupid.
Right.
What if you're a felon for a firearm? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? You're a felon for a firearm, not even necessarily illegal. Like, there's lots of whatever. Like,
yeah, I mean, I can understand if it's like you have a history of violent crime, then it's like, okay, I can maybe understand that punishment. But if you're just like a random person, you got arrested for drugs.
You're smoking pot, bro.
Yeah,
you're smoking pot. You got arrested. Now you're a felon, dude.
Yeah. No, but that's not what I'm saying is that it may seem extreme that it's the 10 years for a crime that he hasn't been convicted of, but it's a different crime. It's not the
but
supposed
here's
crime,
my thing. There's a problem here. It's one thing if he shouldn't be doing 10 years. He should be doing about a year. Even if the gun is his, okay.
Right.
You do a year because the gun is yours, but he's not the one who produced it or brandished it or fired it. That was Kelsey getting it out.
Right.
And
is his DNA on the gun?
Huh? No.
If his DNA is not on the weapon, bro, he should never have been fucking put behind bars.
His DNA was not on the weapon. And again, because she was fucking given immunity, they didn't test her DNA.
I mean,
there's
even
an unknown DNA on it.
Even giving her immunity is weird, right? Well, so the bodyguard said he was under NDA, right? That was his reason for not saying anything because he was under NDA, which is like, come on, man. Somebody commits a crime. Okay, let's talk about this. If you're under NDA and protect
you from testimony against the crime, that's not how that works.
Right.
You can't make someone sign an NDA and then commit a bunch of crimes.
Or is that just the excuse for what you were saying? You were telling me before the show, Fresh, which is that there may be something bigger going on here.
So this is the thing: is I definitely think it's bigger than this. However, that being said, like we're talking about policy superseding law. That's not a thing,
right?
Like something we draw up doesn't supersede the law. So if I write a contract that says you can kill me, you still commit murder if you kill me.
Right. Or, if we have an agreement where we say you can't talk about, internal goat show business and then one of us is embezzling, like, no.
Yeah. Or you're selling, you're selling cocaine under the goat show name.
Right.
And I'm like, bro, my
Yeah,
your,
no, it's
my
still
this
crime.
NDA doesn't protect you from that, my bro. It protects you
Right,
from
right.
anything inside the scope of the law.
Right, which is why I kind of agree with you, Fresh, that like NDA is a convenient excuse to just keep your mouth shut because maybe there's other people involved that want to see things go a certain way. You're telling me that okay, so from what you were saying before, my understanding is that Jay-Z's label, Roc Nation,
Was looking
big
to
time
sign
label.
Tory.
They signed Tory
just before all this happened, like he was dating Meg or running around with Meg. Roc Nation is offering to sign him. He decides to go independent. Soon as he decides to go independent, all this shit happens.
Okay.
And then, not only that, but there are other things that, in my opinion, point to Roc Nation playing these games. So there's a streamer named DDG. He has been helping Tory Lanez to put out his music from jail.
Yes.
He now has a case against him for abuse, and they're trying to take his daughter away from him, sole custody to the mother. Chris Brown said free Tory Lanez. 24 hours later, he got arrested in Europe for something that happened in 2023. He's been to this place since then.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like there's a lot of things going on to people who say anything about Tory Lanez now.
Right. Okay, so let me help me understand though, because just my thought is if I'm running a label, right? Business is business. You want to sign to my label. You decide you don't want to sign to my label. All right, whatever. There's a million other rappers out there, talented people. What's one Tory Lanez? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is that a big issue? Why would a Roc Nation care so much?
Tory Lanez is a great artist, bro. He's not just
he's
one of those.
I haven't listened to his music. I'll be honest.
He makes great music, bro. It's fucking good. It's good, and he's very artistic. Like he's one of those types of people that really good at freestyling. He's like Juice WRLD. You know what I mean? He could just go. He can freestyle all the time. I've seen his freestyles a lot. Tory's super fucking talented, bro. So having him under your labels, and he's got a lot of fans. He's done a lot of shit. He's a notable character. He's not.
But these are things that also that Roc-a-fella and Roc Nation are known for. Like, do we remember Big L? Do we remember ODB's overdose? Do you know who ODB was signed to? Do you know who Big L? Do you know who Big L was affiliated with? Do you remember Nipsey Hussle's death? When Nipsey died, do you know what he was discussing with Roc Nation? He had a management deal and he didn't want to fully sign. Also like Tiana Kennedy, she was an emerging talent and she died private and mysteriously. And was also
why would you?
headaches over contract.
It just doesn't make any sense to me from a business standpoint. Like why exact revenge? Why kill all these people? There's so many people. There's a new artist born every day. No offense to Tory Lanez. I'm just saying, like, there's new artists all the time. If somebody doesn't want to work with you anymore, let them go and just do your thing. Keep going. Like, I don't know. It just feels
the cost of starting somebody new versus signing someone who is already very well established and is known for producing good music is and plus it's not the risk goes down. You see that, right? Like if you try to sign someone new, no one really knows them, whatever, like you're taking a huge risk on this artist. But if you sign someone that's already established, has huge fans, could sell out anywhere, then like there's not a ton of risk. You just run risk on like the actual person's actions and who they are. Like your risk lies with who they are as a person and not so much can they be successful. And so that's worth a lot of money, knowing that your money's going to be good because this person is already successful versus like trying to make somebody successful. And so when that person is trying to do their own thing,
who has beef with Drake?
So there might be a beef with Drake.
Jay-Z and Drake never seen eye to eye, right? and Tory's buddy. Like at the time, there's been plenty of times where they've taken fun shots at each other, but like Drake and Tory are boys.
Right.
So,
and Nino, who we just saw his comment on the screen, he brings up a good point, and this is something that I've heard many times. People conspiracy theories, or maybe not. I mean, I don't say that. I kind of say that loosely, but yeah, the idea you take out an insurance policy, or you own the masters, and then when that person dies, they become a martyr or hero. But they're you're able to easily negotiate with their next of kin. Sometimes it's set up by the next of kin, is the rumor. So people get rich off that. They get rich off the dead artist. You know what I'm saying? So that's possibility.
Who does Kanye say had him sacrifice his mom?
Right.
Just saying, bro. Jay's in the middle of all of this shit. Right. And so if that motherfucking gay painter head looking ass is in the middle of it, I already know shit is fucking sideways. Now free my bro Tory and fuck Jay-Z.
Oh my gosh. I got no dog in this fight. All right. I don't want no shooters up in my spot.
Listen,
all right.
You remember early episodes what I told you, right? When one of us rides, we all ride, my bro. You got a dog in this fight because I'm in this fight.
Damn it. You keep pulling me in fights. This is how it all starts.
That's it. You spent your whole life being a pacifist for nothing.
Well, listen, it's like why would Roc do that? Like, okay, because like another comparison to this. Another comparison, this would be like Scooter Braun and Justin Bieber. I don't know if you guys have been following what's going on with them, but I mean, they ain't killing Justin Bieber. It's
bro. 200
They're just trying to get his money and make him a slave. But I'm just saying,
bro, they did basically kill him. They did basically kill him. They ruined his soul. They like took what was good in this kid, and then they made him a bit like he spent over $1 billion. Made over $1 billion off this music, and they're like, you know what? We'll get you 200 mil. So now he doesn't even have nothing left. He has a 200 mil. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Another one of my Canadian brothers, man.
Is he Canadian? I didn't realize that. I think it's just anti-Canadian. That's what's going on.
See, bro, they hate us, man.
We just anti-Canadian out here.
True North, strong and free, baby.
Y'all just need to join the union, and everything will be nice and easy.
I'm for a North American Union, man. Trump, get it done, bro. Tired of having to use a passport to go see my bros. It's crazy.
So, yeah, I mean, the Tory Lanez thing, at least from my outside observation, since I'm, I'm gonna give it some. This old timer right here gonna give his music a shot. All right, I'll give it a little bit of a shot and see how it is. But regardless, it's good. He survived it. If something else happens to him now that he survived, then I'll believe it. I'll believe all this Roc Nation stuff. You know what I also believe in?
Send him home, bro.
Send him home. Free our mans.
Nah, even if he's got to stay in jail, bro, let him finish his sentence in Canada, man.
Interesting. He's in the U.S. Bro. He's in the U.S.
Yeah, bro. Fuck that. Get him home.
I thought maybe he was in a Canadian prison.
No, man. He's for all intents and purposes, he's an American. He's living as an American.
Damn. Is he American? He's not an American citizen, though, right?
I don't know. Maybe. Because I think because they might have extradited him. If not, right?
Interesting. Okay, yeah, they would have extradited him, I would have thought.
Yeah, deportation, my bro.
Yeah. So he must be an American citizen.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I do believe in, it may not, maybe it was Roc Nation, I don't know, but it might have been the Boule. The Black Boule, members of which include, rumored to include someone like a Jay-Z, also rumored to include someone like a Diddy.
Yeah. I seen them trying to claim that Diddy's Jesus because he's anointed in oil.
What? Damn. Where'd Deezy go? There he is.
Sorry, gentlemen. Like Ravine, my dogs were over here fucking like harassing me, bro. They had to go so bad. So I had to bring the dogs out. I had to let the dogs out. If I didn't, they'd be waiting for another hour and a half. So,
well, check it out. This show answered at least one question. Who let the dogs out? It was Deezy.
I had to.
Literally. These you were talking
Where
about.
were we at in the beat?
The
Are we still
Black
talking
Boule,
about?
I'm talking about Jay-Z, Diddy, you know, the Illuminati, what do you call it? LeBron? That's right. Somebody, Nino brought that
LeBron
up.
got it.
You
Well,
know, they'd be
yo,
making these signs out here.
LeBron is an interesting character, bro. Who is this guy? How did he get to where he's at? And he's managed arguably some of the biggest people of our time. So he's like those people, man. Was he placed?
No. See, I'm gonna tell you, no. He was used, my bro. He's
LeBron. We're talking about
LeBron is somebody
was
who's
used.
used, not placed.
Skilled.
Like, yeah, like you can't fake the funk when it comes to what LeBron does.
No, not LeBron. I was talking about Scooter Braun.
Oh, Scooter Braun.
Oh.
Yeah, that guy.
Right.
Is Scooter Braun placed? No.
I mean,
managing Taylor Swift and Justin Bieber, bro.
I mean, maybe out of nowhere he gets Taylor and he gets Bieber, and out of nowhere, you know. I mean, he's that good a businessman.
Does he wear a little hat?
I mean, he used to manage Ye. They had a little bit of falling out. He's
also then the answer is yes.
Indeed.
I don't know.
I don't know enough about Scooter Braun to say whether he's a man with skilled acumen or just part of a group that, you know, is supportive of each other. Let's just be real. Very supportive of each other.
It's one of the things I find the most endearing about them.
Yeah. I think that's a good thing.
Since we were talking about Bieber, did we already talk about how much money he's blown through?
Yeah, $1 billion
from what I hear.
Almost $1 billion, bro.
$1 billion.
That's what I was saying. I was like, bro, he
spent
$500 million
to $1 billion.
And then they gave him $200 million for his catalog.
Bro.
Wait, hold on a second. How did he spend? My understanding is the Billy is not like purely him spending, or is it him spending? Just spending.
Him spending, bro.
I'm not 100%.
Him spending poorly is a.
I don't know how you spend $1 billion. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, what are we talking about here? I thought it was on a tour. Like, he was supposed to go on tour. He got sick. He got COVID. Remember, he had that eye thing, or half his face froze or some shit. And then he couldn't complete the tour. And then the insurance wouldn't back up the insurance for the tour. And then that's how he started owing a bunch of people a bunch of money. And it wasn't really him. It was Scooter who booked that tour, who set up that tour. But, you know, he left Bieber holding the bag. That's the rumor. That's what Ian Carroll, I think, said on Candace Owens, from what I can remember, that it was.
Well,
so
he
it wasn't
owes
like
20 milli, right?
What's that?
He still owes Scooter like 20 mil.
Yeah, he owes a bunch of people a bunch of money. Scooter owes a bunch of people a bunch of money. Is my
no? Well, Bieber owns Scooter like 20 mil in like management fees and shit or something like that. That's what I had read.
We might need to query ChatGPT on this one, but yeah. I mean, something's going on where Bieber was left holding the bag. That's all I know, and it was related to the world tour and all that kind of shit. I don't know what I guess maybe they're arguing out what that is exactly, and that's why it looks like he's crashing out a bit. He's kind of pissed off about everything. So, you know, and then, you know, bringing it back to Diddy.
He's getting expensive.
I mean, bringing it back to Diddy.
Scooter Braun didn't inherit from his dad. So Scooter Braun was a party promoter, and he did promotion for Jermaine Dupri, and then he got a job over there at marketing, and then he discovered fucking Biebs on YouTube, and then he brought him to Usher, and then
that's right. That's where Usher.
The rest is history, my boys.
How much money has Scooter made?
How much money did Britney Spears blow through?
That's what Stash asked via X.
We gotta get some research here going.
I'm on it.
Not planned in the pre-episode planning. So might need to bring us some Chat GPTs here. Well, with Scooter, I mean, Scooter did the whole thing with Taylor where he sold her catalog or whatever, and so she re-recorded all the songs.
Yeah, bro, she checkmated him. I'm gonna be honest,
so
bro.
Awesome.
He thought his little hat was gonna play games, and she just fucking ripped it right.
How was Taylor Swift not in a prison gang stabbed up? You know what I'm saying?
Because it's Taylor Swift, bro. Because it's Taylor. It's a whole different level, right? Like Tory would have been at a point. Like if they left him alone, they would have never been able to get him.
You know what it is? You know what it is? There's Swifties in prison. Just because
Yeah, it just
motherfuckers
doesn't
in prison
matter.
don't mean they ain't Swifties in prison. If they try to
Bro.
do some shit to Taylor Swift, try to get her on a thing and get her in prison, dude, she'd be running that joint with all her fellow Swifties.
How many, and like in a male prison, how many of those guys, when they call home, do their daughters tell them about Taylor and they have to love Taylor and now they'd protect her at all costs?
Mhm.
And then in a female prison, bro, do I even have to continue?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? It's a
She's
female
gangster,
prison.
man.
They run
Taylor
that.
Swift, a motherfucking gangster up in here. You ain't gonna be putting Taylor in a box. Put it that way. One way or
See, bro,
another.
Adam Choit said sup on YouTube, but we can't see it in the chat here because of technical difficulties. What's up, Adam?
What's up, Adam?
Through some research and general estimations, Britney Spears has really only spent about $125 million. And that's because she was on a conservatorship. Remember, like she wasn't
Yes,
allowed
sir.
access to 100% of her
she's rich.
funds.
Shit.
Mhm.
So she still got millions in the bank for surezies. But since that's ended, she has been spending a significantly amount more, like up to 40 million in a year.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I gotta say it. I know the Britney fans aren't gonna be happy, but I mean, if she's got profligate spending habits, maybe a conservatorship.
Hey, bro. I've said it from the beginning. She should be on a conservatorship. That lady's brain is not okay. There was a reason that was going on. Like,
Okay, so
they act like they were taking advantage of Britney. They weren't taking advantage of Britney. Britney was fucking lost in the sauce, bro.
but you feel like she was that before any of this conservatorship?
Says she's got about 40.
Yes, this is why they put her on the
Yes.
conservatorship.
The best
Okay.
guess is she's got still about $40 million left, but I imagine she also has a lot of assets.
Mm.
Hopefully,
Whatever, man. Free Britney, free.
Who was
these are
managing her?
listen, artists.
Reconservatorship, Britney.
No, listen,
Free
artists
Tory,
are
bro.
artists. All right, we
Yeah.
love our
No,
artists
bro,
to be
no.
wild and crazy.
She
We
about to
need
Kurt
them to be
Cobain
free.
herself, my bro. She's lost it. She needs to be. She needs to find Jesus. Is what she needs to do.
Oh, you mean she needs to find? She needs to find Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Look at this guy.
I was gonna talk about it at the beginning of the show, but I forgot. This
Yo,
is my
that's a
dad's. This is my
beautiful
dad's
Bible,
like
man.
fancy Bible. We're
That's
moving
beautiful.
That's
places
pretty
and
tight.
It has like these fucking cool like. I mean, we're going on detours today.
Whoa!
Yeah, look at
That's
that shit.
beautiful, my bro.
You got
Yeah.
colored images in your Bible? How cool!
Yeah, it's like hardcover. This is from years ago. I think I got it for him for Christmas or something, if I remember correctly. But yeah, they got like cool.
Look at God, Deezy. Look at God, bro. We talked about it one episode. He's got a Bible. Look at God, bro.
He said it's his dad. He says it's his dad's Bible.
Yeah.
my dad. Like
Yeah,
he
but
would bring.
he's got it.
What would
He's
happen is
got it on his desk.
we would go to church on Saturdays, and then he would pull it out on after the service when we had lunch and read verses and shit. You guys think I don't know nothing about nothing?
Now I know you
Unc
know. I
knows
you
something,
know.
all right?
And listen,
Don't
I
worry
know you
about
know, and I know that Jesus don't lose none of his little sheep, man. You be back.
Don't put words in my mouth. All right.
Everybody talk about Unc like he don't know nothing, and then where would you know?
gotta
I
know
got this
something to
fucking mega
become
Bible
Unc,
in
man.
my back pocket. Anyway, what are we talking about? Britney Spears. Bless.
We were
bless your
talking
child.
about this was
Yo, it's
this
true what
was started with
Stash
Diddy,
said, though.
when we talking about Diddy, like, can we bring it back to the diddler? Isn't that
All
what
right,
we're
so
talking about?
let's do a hot.
No, we're
and skip
talking
Yeah,
back.
but
about
it's better
We're
that
talk-
we
we're
brought the
talking about Tory
Bible
Lanez.
out when we were talking about this, boys, just so we're clear, right? Like now we're safe. We could talk about Diddy again.
All right. Well, hopefully, listen, Bieber, time to re-record your catalog. You know what to do.
Bro, he can,
It's not the end of the world, man. Don't crash out. We love you. Just
As long as it was-
Bieber's version.
as long as it didn't have any kind of stipulations with future music, Biebs looks like he's about to drop a rap album, but my boy. I don't know if you've been seeing him, but he's been fucking hooded out. And I bet
think he's
you
gonna
Justin Bieber
do-
drops like a rap pop mix kind of album where he actually like spits some bars, bro.
I think he's
I
gonna
bet.
do a Christian rap album. His uncle is fucking Stephen Baldwin, man.
Yo, Stephen Baldwin be saying some shit. Let me just say.
I
Yo,
know.
you see Justin Bieber when Diddy was on trial,
Mm,
he posted the video of him eating a pizza.
right.
Yo,
I mean,
do you know the song Yummy by Justin Bieber? Have you seen the music video? You should watch the music video.
I mean, look, Bieber's hanging out with Usher at Diddy camp. You know what I'm saying? I know Usher be hanging out at Diddy camp. There's a lot of shit going on, man, and it's getting wilder by the day. So let's bring it back to Diddy. So Diddy's on trial. It started a couple of days ago. I think it's on day 4 or 5 now. Diddy's on trial. I'm having trouble understanding exactly what it's grape soda with his ex Cassie, right? That's this trial.
Well, no, but they're getting him for like running a prostitution ring, bro. Like,
right. And then there's the
charge.
trafficking. There's all the apparent trafficking.
Yeah, but it's all in one, bro. They're not like they're not doing this separately. They're doing all of it right now.
Bro, this is gonna turn to a Rico.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
You're gonna watch it
not
happen live.
Like they could, as much as people want to say Diddy was this and Diddy was that, no chance he did all this by himself. There's a lot of people implicated here that had a hand, and I think all that hopefully comes out. But it's gonna be crazy when Diddy and Epstein cases start to connect, because there's no way that they weren't friends.
It's a lot of people in the same circles. That's for sure. And let's talk about what's happened so far in the trial before we get into all the speculation of what it means. So far, it's just been Cassie, his ex, her testimony. You know, she claims that he raped her in 2018. We've seen video on CNN about, with him being literally knocking her out in the hallway while he's in a freaking bathrobe and dragging her ass. So and this idea that it's he said, she said, I think is not the case. There's definitely a good case to be made that, that he's doing the things that she said, and she's saying a lot of stuff, a lot of wild stuff.
Well, check this out though. That video is like a domestic violence charge, right? Like there is nothing else in that specific video because they were together, I'm pretty sure, during that time, right? Weren't they dating?
But hold on. Are you saying that makes it like fruit from the poison tree by releasing this video? It kind of poisons the well for the rest of the case.
I mean, that's specific to try to pin it on that to try to use that video as evidence for what they're actually trying to charge him with is different. Like, where are the videos that they confiscated from his house?
That's what I mean. There has got to be.
That's the shit that needs to be admitted into evidence, right? It's super obviously fucking probably crazy. I'm sure there's some shit in there that they can get multiple people, huge people. I guarantee it. But then there's the case.
I think those videos are going to come out.
All doing sex. They were all consenting adults. Their case is going to be everybody was consenting adults and they willingly agreed to be filmed, and everyone had a good time and they came here to do this thing. They took the drugs. They made the decisions. Them. So he's still going to get, like, that's what I imagine their defense is going to be, because somebody's got to defend. You got to defend to this case. So that's what their defense is.
The problem is he did technically, by the letter of the law, traffic those escorts, because you can't hire an escort in New York and then bring them to Miami. It's just not okay. Right. And then pay.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
I mean, that's one part of it.
Sure.
And then the other part
is already credible evidence for some other charges, but I'm talking about the stipulation of everything that happened at the Diddy parties and all of that versus
proving that shit's illegal, right? Proving that people didn't want these things to happen. This is where it becomes hard, because like, for example, if you go into something expecting like a quid pro quo, then were you raped or did you give up the butt?
I mean,
well, quid pro quo with sexual quid pro quo, I imagine, is a crime. You're not allowed. I don't think you're allowed to. It might. I don't know.
Listen, it's immoral. I'm not saying it's not. It's moral.
Yeah, there's a difference between Well, no, not really. I mean, if you have an actual contract, I mean, isn't that what happens in porn? You have a contract. Here are the things that are permitted. These are the things that are not permitted. You know, and then it's consensual. The question I have is like, if you have an understanding, is it?
It's illegal. It's a form of sexual harassment.
Wait. What? If you're doing it without your knowledge,
Employer or person in authority demands sexual favors in exchange for job benefits, promotions, raises to avoid adverse actions, termination, demotion. They could. It's blackmail. You're muted, Fresh.
What if I offer it up? So like it's not you demanding anymore, right? Huh?
Oh, I see. You're saying if the person just kind of goes with it without
not
really
even just
anything
goes
clearly
with it, like,
being.
Let's just say like this, bro. You're the boss, right? And there's this lady, and she says to you, "I'll suck your dick for a job." Is that you demanding sex for a job?
No, but I'm pretty sure that that's soliciting sex, and that's illegal. So, unless you're in Vegas,
not everywhere.
Unless that's why I said unless you're in Las Vegas. If you're in Las Vegas, I guess anything goes.
I'm curious about. Yeah, I mean, it's a good question because I'm like, is it? I mean, you know, that shit happens, man. You're hanging out. She's like a lower level, whatever, or he is, or whatever. You know, you start hooking up. There may not be explicitly written, you know, whatever, but people do that stuff. It's a, you know what I'm saying? Like it happens. I mean, let's not, you know, I don't know. Where are we going with all this? I guess what you're saying, Deezy.
We're trying to play devil's advocate here in like what the defense is, the arguments on the case, and the different stipulations to the different charges. I think that's kind of where we're at.
When it comes to what's happening, hold on. When it comes to what's happening right now, we're purely dealing with Cassie and Diddy and their relationship, right? So what the defense has presented so far, which I don't think is convincing. What the defense has presented so far is they presented text messages back and forth with Cassie saying that she's down with it. You know, she enjoyed some of this stuff, et cetera, on the text messages. Now that can be selective, right? And when it comes to, you know, grape soda activities, and this is why I say, gentlemen of the GOAT Show, gentlemen of the world, can't be doing no more grape soda fantasies. All right. No more of that grape soda.
Yeah, you got to calm those girls' kinks down a little bit. Sometimes
you got to calm the kink down. You can't be doing this grape soda because some of these ladies, I'm just going to be real here. Some of them like it a little rough. Some like a little bit of that choking, that slapping, that spanking. All right. You can't do it, guys. It's done. You can't do it. I'm sorry. It's over.
I
can't
mean,
be doing it. No hair pulling.
If you're married, maybe you're all right.
Do it, Deezy.
I'm trying to plead a case for myself here because my lady may or may not like some of the things.
Oh my goodness. You can't do it. What? No more grape soda in any context.
That
person could come around and just be like, yo, he grape soda'd me.
That wasn't very gentlemanly of you. Okay.
What?
Nothing.
What was
I'm just saying. All right. I mean, you can do it, but it's a dice roll because as soon as things go south, man, they can roll it out. Oh, he had me tied up in chains. He was whipping me. He collar at me.
You said spanking, bro. What?
He was poking me with hot irons.
Whoa!
You can't
blindfold in my face. Hang me upside down. Shibari, whatever they call it.
No more 50 Shades of Grey, bro. No more 50 Shades of Grey.
It's over. Contract, no contract. Contracts don't even apply anymore.
I'm going to make a case that book / movie / franchise is what really started off these kinks.
No grape soda without 50 Shades of Grey is what you're saying? It wasn't as serious without 50 Shades of Grey?
It accelerated or it multiplied the effect of that. People found it. Then it turned to like a sexual, sexy, mystic type thing versus like
Did they find
bought-
it though? Did they really
BDSM
find it, or was it,
bro.
you know?
BDSM is huge. It's a huge thing. People like that shit.
I don't know. What I'm saying is maybe it wasn't natural. Maybe it was artificially propagated. for
It's
certain
not
reasons.
nature, it's nurture.
Maybe. I mean, there's always Marquis de Sade and all that shit. You know, it's been around. Victorians were
Well,
kinky
listen,
a while
even
too. You know,
even pop culture, it's always like make sure you smack your girl's butt when you walk by and da-da-da, you know what I mean?
you
Like,
can't do that anymore either.
There's not a
You're
chance
gay.
that I'm not doing that. I'm
You
grabbing.
can't spank. You can't grope. You can't. You know,
Sometimes I go in
touch her on the
bite,
chin.
bro.
You can't do any of that shit.
I go in for the bite sometimes. Not hard,
Listen,
but you know,
listen, you
just a
gotta
little nibble,
do.
little love bite.
Listen, you just grab the sheet, throw it over. You know, you got the hole. You pray to God. Quick pump. Have the
Bro,
kids.
all
That's
right.
it. That's all we can do now.
Handmaid's Tale over here, dude.
I mean,
Handmaid's Tale.
listen, shall we get controversial here, everybody? All these women saying they don't want the Handmaid's Tale, but we're not the ones creating the Handmaid's Tale problem. I said it. Y'all want that grape soda? We get in trouble. We go on Handmaid's Tale. All right. I'm just saying.
Fresh,
I wrong?
you got that sound bite that says like not all of the opinions and words.
it's not for the goat show, but we could throw it back real quick. bro.
You guys, listen. I know
The views and opinions expressed by this wild-ass ZiLLY do not reflect the official policy or position of ZGC Entertainment, Inc., a Wyoming
make a new one.
corporation.
You tell me, guys, because I mean, this is an important thing. Okay, let's be real for just a second. I'm gonna tone it down a little bit. I've been a little bit hyperbolic here, but this is what I mean. A lot. This is happening a lot. Like you see this thing with what's her name, Hallie, and what's it called, DDG.
DDG.
Right? You know, everybody's saying, "Oh, I got grape soda. Oh, I got forced into this thing.
He chipped my tooth.
Chip my tooth. All this stuff. It's like, did he really chip your tooth? Was it, y'all are getting wild and just happened to knock the tooth? I don't know. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, listen, if we live in a world where people are willing to be accountable and say, look, we got into some wild shit and I feel like a hoe, but you know what? That was the breaks. I'm just going to have to live with it and move on with my life, which is what most people do, right? Dudes too. You don't tell me you ain't maybe slept with somebody that maybe you shouldn't. You're kind of in need in the moment, and maybe that wasn't the right decision to make. Am I gonna turn around as a dude and be like, oh, she forced me?
Fuck, I am now. You guys are all rapists.
We get paid? We getting paid out here? Because
No, but honestly, I agree with that statement. I think that it's kind of crazy. I don't think
Consensual
that, like,
sex is the
buyer's
thing.
remorse is the same thing
Yeah.
as grape soda, bro. You know what I mean?
Consensual sex is like the thing, right? Like it's already
Right.
been consensual. You get two people, they hooked up, then cool. It is what it is. But it comes back to that later. Then someone uses that as a story against somebody. That's fucked up.
that's a tough one. Because I mean, for all intents and purposes, if I'm being really, really serious here, it's entirely like I entirely believe that Cassie definitely probably got raped by Diddy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If he's hitting her in the hallway and she's getting knocked out,
Diddy's guilty, bro. I'm not trying to say Diddy's not guilty.
She's
Diddy
being so honest on the
Yeah.
stand. She's being so honest that, like, I believe her when she said, she said like, oh, I was fucking him and then he raped me and then I fucked him again. Like, you know what I'm saying? And she's like, bro, I loved him. I loved I kept thinking of our past. I kept thinking whatever. I loved our life. Like, she would have done anything for that life. Right. So, like, she's being very honest. And I think that it would be really weird in the midst of all that honesty to just be like, throw the lie in of, yeah, he raped me. Why?
I mean, part of it, and this is, again, I'm just gonna keep getting into spicy stuff today, but I mean, her husband's in the courtroom, and I mean, we don't have to talk about exactly kind of the stuff she's talking about, but I mean, these freak offs were wild. Like, I mean, there's some
I would
fetishy, freaky stuff.
I
Was
would
that-
walk out like he stomped out. I would have also stomped out if you're telling me like, yeah, bro, he was peeing in my mouth, and then you get escorts to pee in my mouth, and then like an escort would nut on me, and I'd rub it on his nipples, like.
I mean, and again, not kink shaming, just saying like, maybe I did kink shame a little bit, but I'm just saying like, I'm saying, I don't know, man. It's a
I feel
tough
like
one.
I feel like there is a level of kink that if somebody's acceptable with, then it kind of tells you a little bit about their whole character as a person, and they might be willing to go a little bit further on any aspect of life if they're willing to do some weird, really weird shit sexually,
Is
right?
that fair? I don't know.
It
I
is
don't know if
fair.
that's a fair
It's a
statement.
fair assumption. I'm gonna make that assumption
I'll
comfortably.
be honest, bro. If you tell me you like getting peed on, I'm gonna think you're a weirdo, bro. I'm gonna think that
Sure,
you're willing
sure,
to go the
sure.
extra mile.
No,
in
but what
all
I mean
other
is
things,
like,
too.
what I mean like is if someone's engaging in really fetishy stuff like that, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be into grape soda. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no.
Well, when it's like someone who's doing that repeatedly over and over again, almost like they're addicted to this weird sexual fucking thing that they're having people do, and they're recording it, and it's like blackmail. Like there's so many levels to it. It's like
Right.
it's not like he's hooking up with. He's got
That is
this
another level to it, bro. That really
The
is another
recording
level
and
to
the
it.
blackmail,
Getting,
right?
yeah, where you
doing
getting
doing
off on
what you
it,
want to do in your bedroom with who
with
you want to do that with. I'm okay with. That's fine. But when it goes to like this huge network of different people and making them
Right,
do it on
right.
camera, and drugs are involved too, and then
Right.
like there's a lot. And he's directing people to do stuff. You know what I mean?
But
And he's
what
coming
is
from a position of power. Like he's a very powerful individual with a lot of connections and a lot of money. And like, if you don't do what he says to do, your career could be over as an artist,
But
magician,
how do you
whatever.
parse that? So here's where it becomes really complicated, right? Is how do you parse that out? Because let's say you are a young artist, right? We always assume like, oh, the young artist is like they're just little old, innocent, and then all of a sudden Big Bad Wolf comes in and makes me do all this crazy shit. Listen, I've known people who are creative. I've known artists. Artists are fucking crazy. We're batshit. All of us. We got a little crazy in it always. And what happens is that people get swept up in the crazy. You want to know why fucking like why does hold on why does why does a rock star has everything going for him all of a sudden destroy everything with drugs and alcohol and shit? You think they were just little old innocent and somebody fed them the drugs? No, like when people start partying, and that shit can go off the rails, and people like it when it goes off the rails. Like we celebrate when the TV gets thrown out of the window. You know what I'm saying? We celebrate when Ye writes a freaking song, saying the thing. So it's difficult in these situations, other than if you have video evidence and it's clear as day that something crazy's happened, right? But it's like that's why your daddy told you, like, hey, your mama told you, hey, stay away from bad friends. Don't get mixed up with the wrong crowd. That's the classic thing. Don't get mixed up with the wrong crowd.
Guilty by association, motherfucker.
I'm not saying that
show me who your 5 closest friends are, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying this trial shouldn't happen, but what I'm saying is like it's hard. It's going to be a hard one to really parse through. Okay, what actually? If she's sending text messages after the fact saying that she's having a good time, sure. We can talk about trauma all day and how that happens, but there's no context for that text. You know what I'm saying? There's no like. I mean, what? I don't know.
Again, like it's not just like random text being read out of context, right? There are contexts for the text, and like. It seems to me like she was pretty much a huge part of the whole thing, my bro. Like there's context, and she's good. She's guilty too, bro. She was doing that shit with, like, and not by force. Like, you know what I mean? Again, like raping her a couple times it can still be true without this stuff happening by force.
Sure.
Because again, you see that she was still in love with him after.
That's one of the challenging things, right? Because and I have read a lot and learned a lot about, say, narcissistic abuse and these types of things, cult-like behavior. And yeah, people get sucked in. People get, and then they wake up one day and they're like, what the fuck? Like, what am I doing? This is terrible. Like, or something finally happens, they snap out of it, and
Does
they
that
realize,
make you
oh
not
shit.
guilty?
No. I mean, I'm saying, I guess
That's where I'm
the question is, someone like let's say Keith Raniere, right? He was out here branding bitches. All right. He was literally taking a brand and putting it and having other women that Allison, what's her name? Superman girl, had her branding other women with his initials. And he got convicted for it. He's in prison now, right? But it's one of the things where it's like, it's I'm just saying it's for defense. I don't think the defense is going to win. I don't know. I go back and forth. I'm like, on the one hand,
they try to paint her as a drug addict a little bit too.
Right. But just because you're on drugs doesn't mean, it's okay to have somebody do something to you, right? So, I mean, I don't know if that's going to work. I'm just saying the question is like, how do you determine what is actually consent and what isn't? And my thing is like,
this
that's why
trial her versus him?
I think it is, right? It's a rape
Or is
case.
she? I thought that I didn't think that that's what this trial was.
No, she's just somebody. She's
A
somebody that she's a witness that got called. Dude, this is probably going to go on.
Okay.
Dude, there's so many levels to it. It's probably going to go on for a long time.
Right.
The fact that it's going on, this is what's crazy, right? What the fuck's going on with the Epstein case?
Let's talk about that real quick. I think some things are going on.
Diddy just got arrested, bro. Like, it wasn't that long ago.
I think there's things going on with the Epstein case. I don't believe Cash and those guys when they say nothing's going on. Because you had, what's her name? Bondi. She got caught on tape, right? Saying that there's 10,000 tapes of Epstein doing stuff with, or 10,000 Epstein tapes they found of people doing stuff with kids. She had to admit that publicly because James O'Keefe had an inside agent talking to her, and she admitted that on camera. So she had to come out publicly and state it. And then since then, she hasn't said anything. So my thought is like, if that's true, she's saying that, okay, she said it in a candid moment. She didn't know she was being filmed, that those exist. And that's a lot of freaking tapes. 10,000 tapes that they're going to have to go through?
How many fucking people?
And who's on those tapes?
Right.
Who can they identify?
10,000, dog. Even if you had people that returned 20 times, you're still talking hundreds, if not thousands of people that they have evidence of them doing stuff to children. That is crazy, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I think they're working on the case. I don't think they're twiddling their thumbs and hiding shit. I think Cash is on the case. I think they're on the case. I think they're having to go through all this stuff, man. And they can't talk about it.
Also, not just that they can't talk about it, bro. You know how crazy that is for their mentals? They probably can't even go through like 10 tapes in a row. You probably got to go through a tape and then go take an hour and a half breather and
like
meditate.
They have to use AI or something.
Therapist. Yeah,
that's what I would say. I would say like they should develop an AI just to go through all the tapes and identify.
Well, they do.
I
guarantee you they do.
Who are the people involved? Like,
I guarantee you they have that because all these social networks. And I know that because at one point we were trying to build a social network. Their AWS and all these people, they have moderating filters that can identify when there's inappropriate content visually now with AI. So my guess is that either they're developing it or they already have it and they have to put it through the AI. But somebody still has to watch that shit. You know what I'm saying? We can't have all the Filipinos watch that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta. So I don't know. My gut is telling me that there's some real shit going on behind the scenes, and they're just not going to talk about it till the time is right. Because also, you don't want to let anybody. You don't want to let anybody know. Like if I'm a famous person or I'm a person of influence with lots of money, I want to believe that on some level nothing's happening. Or if I think something's happening, I'm going to start deploying my resources. Right? Especially if I'm a foreign government. Maybe I'm a foreign government that's behind this thing and behind this op. Like you can't let on, man. You can't let anybody know what's going on. Otherwise, you're gonna have leaks all over the place, and it's gonna get stonewalled. Who knows if it's politicians currently in office? You know what I'm saying? So
and does it overlap with
want
any
all of
cases that are in front of
want-
the court right now?
I want
Right.
every single one of them to face the music, bro.
yeah,
Hey, yo, Deezy, I want to tell you something, bro.
What?
You know how you said that Diddy's was going to become a RICO?
Huh?
It became a RICO, my bro.
oh shit,
Really?
just now?
It's now a racketeering conspiracy.
Ooh,
It's over for bro. A federal RICO, it's over for bro. He is going away.
they're-
They don't miss.
And they're gonna get everybody. Like everyone that was involved better be called.
I think here's what I think this is the other part of it is that my thought with Diddy is that it may not be involved with, well, I mean, everybody says Epstein was Mossad, basically. That's, secret intelligence,
Well-
Israeli intelligence, right? I don't know if Diddy's considered that.
Ghislaine's-
So,
Ghislaine's dad was Mossad, right?
right. Well, Ghislaine,
Well, I mean, my bro, if your father is Mossad, you are Mossad by association at least.
at least. I mean,
Like,
she
you're
only got
living a
5
Mossad life.
years. Think about this. She only got 5 years. So what does
It
she have
goes-
to
it goes
do?
the same for CIA, bro.
Right.
Right. So it doesn't. It's not specific to Mossad. Just for everyone
Right.
out
If you're
there.
if you're intelligence, your family is part of that community.
Right.
Like,
If your dad's a CIA agent, well, so are you.
I mean, her dad was
By-
killed.
my proxy.
Her dad was killed by intelligence. He was found dead off a boat or some shit. And then she got caught up and she started making, I don't know if you guys remember that, but she started making like freaking gang signal hand signs and shit to indicate like, yo, talk to me. Don't kill me. Talk to me first. She only got 5 years from what I understand. And we ain't heard nothing. We ain't seen nothing about Ghislaine.
And also she got 5 years for sex trafficking to nobody.
Right.
We don't even know who it is. Nobody.
That's why I think, I could be wrong. Maybe they're gaslighting and nothing's ever going to happen. But the more I think about it, I'm like, yeah, wouldn't you want, if you're investigating all this shit, you want the people you're going after to think that nothing's happening. You want them to think that you've been compromised so much that nothing's happening. Because otherwise they're going to start doing all kinds of stuff, man.
If this doesn't come out during Trump's presidency, it'd be a single greatest failure.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, if it doesn't come out during his presidency, it's not coming out.
Probably not. But that's where I stand. Like he will, everything that he could do positive will fail in light if he doesn't fucking get this figured out. Especially if they have all they need to fucking pin it down. And I understand that it could be super fucking complicated and they're still probably investigating, right? Like not only do they already have a shit ton of evidence, but they're still probably following up on further investigation and going other places and probably checking on other stuff that they found out from their previous investigation. Like they're probably still currently building the cases.
Even
Even for Maxwell, they're probably still building her case. They probably have more to charge her with when she gets out. You know what I mean? Like she could walk out of jail and immediately be fucking picked back up and brought into a holding cell because here comes the real charges.
I mean,
For something else that doesn't impose double
Let's
jeopardy.
let's lock her down. She's a flight risk. We can get her for 5 years. We got to get it figured out in 5 years. The full case. We have more. We didn't charge her with everything. We charged her with this. We can still bring charges after her 5 years. That would be the best play I could see if you're in a standpoint of like, okay, we can't let her just disappear. So we got to charge her with whatever evidence that's as solid as possible right now so that we can have her in a facility for 5 years while we continue this investigation because it's so got to be a network like huge.
But you don't have to wait the 5 years to charge her. You have up to these 5 years because you can charge her at any point.
When she gets out, she might go fucking ghost and you'll never find her.
I mean, it is interesting to think about that Epstein got killed in a maximum security prison. And I believe he got killed. There's no fucking way he committed suicide.
Yeah, he didn't.
I don't believe it. There's no way. He just happened to commit suicide when the camera's off. Like, how does that make any sense? How does he even know when a camera's off? I mean, you could tell somebody, but I mean, you're going to tell somebody, you're going to tell Mossad, hey, turn the cameras off for me, homies, while I kill myself. No, bullshit. But it is interesting to think about that. Like, that happened to him, and Ghislaine is in a she's not is she in a maximum security facility? I don't even think she is. And she ain't getting, I mean, nobody's trying to off her, or it doesn't seem like they are. So I don't know. It's really ambiguous, and maybe that's the point. That might be the point. It's ambiguous. Nobody really knows what's going on. You got to keep it on the DL, because also you don't want people to suddenly leave the country. You know, you don't want a Roman Polanski situation. They all fly to France. They all just hang out in France.
I mean, crimes against humanity, you're not safe anywhere, my bro.
Well,
doesn't matter. They'll come get you.
They ain't got Polanski yet, so
no matter where you're at. You go to Iran, they'll come in there and get your ass, dude. They don't care.
I think they well, you know, speaking of Iran and the Gulf nation states and all that kind of stuff, you know, and these days, I'm pretty optimistic Iran would probably hand whoever back over. I think our relationship with these Middle Easterners is on the up and up. If you know what I mean. Because you know, Trump out here. Theo Vaughn out here, hopping over the Middle East. Theo Vaughn trying to escape, you know, choking bitch charge as well. You know what I'm saying? He out here choking motherfuckers in these Nashville bars, getting too close to him, talking shit with these balloons. I don't even know what's going on in that scenario. Do we have that? Maybe we need to bring. It's a little confusing.
Let me see if I can find that real quick first.
For anyone who doesn't know, Theo Vaughn, somebody they've been trying to get content with him without his permission. He's getting enough. He had enough of it, and he freaking grabbed dude by the throat, pushed him back, told him to fuck off, and then he ends up in Qatar or UAE, I guess. So I don't know if we can bring that up, but yeah, apparently, you know, it's been a little bit frosty between Trump and Israel. Oh, here we go. Let's see. I got the video.
Jason, drop the phone.
Oh, damn.
Oh, he's definitely on some cocaine right now.
Think so? You think he's cheesing?
I don't know what else
he happened. Done. He should have popped those balloons.
He's definitely on cocaine, bro. He's chewing.
Yo, he's chewing his gum so fucking hard, dude. Like,
what about he could have been a Zen? You know what I'm saying? Chewing that.
Why would you a Zen, bro? Look,
fuck. Trying to quit smoking.
I was Zen right now, bro. What are you talking about?
I'm just trying to look out for my boy Theo, man. Golly.
Bro, it's okay. Theo says he does cocaine.
No, I thought he was sober.
He told the president of the United States, bro.
He used to do cocaine. I don't know. I don't know if it's fair to say that he's on coke. He might have been on high quality, you know, nitro cold brew. Because when I drink that nitro cold brew, these teeth start grinding. I start getting
I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes when I'm chewing gum, I just chew the shit out of that gum. Just getting focus mode.
I don't know. I don't want a blanket statement that he may have just been revved up. He might have, you know, I don't know, but he admitted it, or I mean, kind of. He joked about it. Can we play that clip? The one of him. They had him. They basically had him out in Qatar 3 days later during Trump's visit, talking to the troops, made a little light of this whole thing.
Me. All right, that was fast. Okay. Thought that would take longer, dude. Good to see you guys. All right. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, nice to be here. Sorry, I'm very nervous. I don't know exactly. I feel like I get guilty of something. Oh yeah, it's alarming. What's going on? Not much. I didn't know I was going to be here either. Yeah, I promise you. This is definitely court ordered. Oh yeah, I'm just getting out of some time. yeah, they said, dude, you want to go to the Middle East? And I'm like, the Middle East, so what? Like, what do you even mean? You mean like Kentucky, or what do you guys want? They're like, no, dude, the Middle East where the peace is. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, if you're hiring me to go over there and help with peace, then things are not good. It is not going well because I'm on TMZ right now having a bar fight in Nashville. So I don't think I think you guys caught me on a tough week for peace, man. They're like, no, dude, we want you over there. We want you to be over there. We want you to come over and talk about peace and being in the Middle East. So, here I am. And, what's going on, dude? Not much, man. Yeah, most of you guys.
It is a little weird, right?
It seems like they're not laughing.
I don't know if they know who he is.
No, they got him to laugh. He got a couple of laughs there at the beginning. This is definitely a court order.
I mean, here's the thing, though. He knows the president. The president likes him.
They don't want to be there either, you know? So anything to do with not wanting to be there, that's connected with the audience. They're like, oh, damn it. I want to go back home.
Yeah, but he does know the president, and that's probably why he got that instead of like regular community service.
Right.
Like, go fly out and speak to our troops.
The person he's talking about, it's probably his manager. Like, listen, Theo, if you don't do this, you're an idiot, dog. You just got to ask. Do you remember when Marilyn Monroe went and fucking sung to the fucking sailors or the fucking the
president?
Like, well, no, but like, so she would go out. She would go do. She did. I'm pretty sure she did like a.
She's Bette Midler would do a lot of singing for her troops, I think.
Or like she wouldn't entertain. Either way, like going out, and this is like a thing that happens often in tradition, American tradition, where someone goes to entertain the troops.
Oh yeah, right? Bob Hope. You know, it's Ozzy Osbourne.
Right.
I remember during the Gulf or during the Iraq War, we'll go out there. No, good on him. I hope he doesn't get anything for it. Seems like they were being annoying. If they were shoving balloons in my face, I would have grabbed the balloons and popped them. I mean, can you go to jail for popping someone's balloons?
He's not gonna. He shouldn't even get in trouble for what he did. He didn't do anything.
They were
violent.
getting in his face. I feel like you're getting in my space. I don't know.
All he did was push him back and separate. He created a safe space for himself. It didn't look like he was even squeezing. It wasn't like choking this guy. He kind of pushed him by the chest here and like, get the fuck back, bro.
He's also really small, right? So like he's got to do things properly. Like he can't just push you by your two shoulders. He's got to push you here so it actually moves you. Like he's a small dude.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't deserve to go to jail.
You'd be like, calling me small, bro?
Yeah.
We're pro Theo.
Little guy.
Pro Theo on this show. But getting back to it, getting to Trump. Looks like Trump and Bibi ain't doing too well these days. Trump decides to go around and hit up Saudi Arabia, hit up UAE, Dubai. I don't know and he's got Syria on his docket and Iran. And from what I understand, Saudi Arabia, he's like, yo, y'all can get these nukes. You ain't got to talk to Israel. MBS, the rumor is that Trump saved his life. The Las Vegas shooting. That's the rumor. People say it's conspiracy theory, but they say that because MBS owned a floor of that, what do you call it, Mandalay Bay, and they say that Trump gave him the inside word. He got out by helicopter, and the shootout was actually a bunch of assassins, taking it out on people because they couldn't get to MBS. That's the rumor. I don't know if it's true. I think Liz Crokin. Or there's somebody, no, Mindy Robinson. I don't know. There's somebody who did a really excellent deep dive on it, and it's pretty convincing. So,
well, Trump always had good relations with Ben Solomon as well.
Yeah. I mean, Trump wasn't new to all this shit, man. Before he ever ran for president, he was out here talking to everybody.
He's already been talking. He's probably been talking to these people before presidency anyway, because he's trying to.
They probably own places in his buildings and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, people
sure.
own like, yeah, Trump's always been dialed into that sort of rich businessman
And people
community.
think
You know,
people think Trump is like stupid and retarded, man. I think that he dumbs down a lot of his fucking speaking for people so that
Yeah.
he just seems like you put on a face so that people just can understand. You can
I'm gonna
you
tell
can
you
touch
something. The smartest people I know don't speak with a high vernacular.
Mm.
That doesn't make you intelligent. Doesn't
Yeah,
make you
right.
smart. You're, in fact, most times to me, if you don't need to use that word and you're using it, it's because you're trying to sound smart and
Right.
you're not.
Right.
Because the best way to communicate is the simplest of terms, so the most people get the information. So you start using words that people just don't understand, you're just trying to sound smart.
And it's also like the Claudius. I don't know if you guys ever read the book I, Claudius. It's one of my favorite books. And it's basically a history of the Roman Empire as told by Claudius, Emperor Claudius. And he had an arm that was he had like a limp arm, like a gimp arm. And so in history, like people looked down on him. They thought he was they literally thought he was like a retard. You know what I'm saying? But he was super smart. And so, but he would play it. He would play the role, and then he would observe. And he wrote, I think the book is kind of an extrapolation on his actual diaries or whatever they wrote. But there's I think there's records of him writing his observations of the different emperors, and he's basically like Tyrion. Tyrion from Game of Thrones to me, I think is probably inspired by Claudius. But yeah, it's like you pretend to be
Ferreira
dumb.
just jumped in the chat. What's up, G?
What's up, man? Great interview. If anybody out there hasn't seen it, check out our Ferreira interview. The first musical artist ever to be on the GOAT show. Hopefully have many more. It was a really great interview and a lot of great information and tips for artists, creators out there who want to grow their audience and
anybody on Instagram, really.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I would say anybody
on Instagram, which is everybody. So
yeah,
if you want to grow your Instagram, go watch that. If you're interested in music, go watch that.
Yes, indeed.
Well, if you're a person, go watch that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
If you're a Roman
you're
emperor,
a dog,
go watch that.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, but Trump. Yeah, so I think Trump kind of understands that. Like the more people think you're dumb, the more they kind of reveal who they are. You know what I'm saying? They let their defenses down. I think comedians do that a lot. Like, oh, I'm just a dumb comedian, and it lets their guard down, and then they're able to get the real information. So
this is what this has been forever, right? Like, for example, the jester.
Yes.
Right. He's the jester. He's a clown, but he's not.
Right.
He's the king's right-hand man. He's the only person who can speak straight up to the king. And because he's a clown, everybody thinks they can talk to him. So they say their true grievances to the clown.
Right. Right.
Meanwhile, again, he's likely maybe even more intelligent than the king and this much less impactful. Like,
right. Yeah.
He's the only person who can make fun of the king, which is also interesting.
And it's like there's kind of like a social understanding. Like when it's like if some like peasant said it, they'd be dead. But it's like the gesture's designed to specifically be that person. It's kind of a weird, kind of interesting.
But it's good. It's like your therapist, except it's like out in the open. You tell the jester whatever. Like, I fucking hate. Can you say something about how the fucking king looks like a bobblehead or something, or I don't know, obviously not medieval, but like you can make fun of them through the jester and he could present.
Yeah, because now the jester can go and be like, my king, your head looks so big in this new armor you've got. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do wonder how many jesters were murdered though. There has to be a good amount that were not skilled in their delivery and face.
So it usually happens right when they change kings. Because one king found this, and also it's their advisor too, right? It's secretly an advisor,
right,
to the king. So if this is a person that they don't vibe with, then yeah, they're gonna, but then they could just play it off as they weren't funny enough,
right?
Changing of the guard, but
right. Well, I mean, better get your skills up then.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing, right? Is when a king dies, the jester will flee.
Oh,
because
really?
he assumes the next king's going to kill him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because you are
You can't
you are
just-
literally the king's right hand man. I can't trust you.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Right, because you may make fun of the new king in a way that's not meant to be fun. It's meant to be, to make them look bad. So makes sense. Makes sense. But bringing it back to Trump, yeah, he's flying around. Basically, the Middle East is his new best friend, cutting Israel out. He ain't happy. He's tired of he's tired of the bullshit. The rumor was that he was going to recognize Gaza as its own thing. I don't know if that's still in the cards. I don't know when that's coming down, if that is coming down the pike.
They're gonna
But
recognize Palestine
or Palestine. But that's, I mean, Gaza, right? I mean, essentially
included. Yeah.
is there a map in the front of your Bible? ZiLLY, that expensive ass Bible
I
that
don't
you have there?
know. Let me see.
That shows the Holy Land and what it's called.
I don't see one as it is, but I can look later. And
It'd
see.
be like it'd be like the first couple pages.
I don't think there is. I'm looking now. A lot of just art, but not a map. I don't see a map. No. I'll check later though. See if there's a map.
Cool.
But yeah, so Saudi Arabia, MBS, apparently they're investing $600 billion in the United States. We're giving them weapons, $146 billion worth of weapons, but I think they're buying them from us. UAE, apparently there's a lot of chips that we're going to give them, NVIDIA type chips, because they're, I think, the third largest producer of those kind of AI chips and stuff like that, or something like that. We're doing some kind of deal with NVIDIA for them. They're investing 1.6 trillion in the U.S. economy over 10 years. So, apparently they're going to be, buying up things. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather us have our own money and then we're buying our shit.
What I want to, we should figure out exactly how they're going to invest. Are they going to buy bonds? Are they going to, you know what I mean? Like, it's
Apparently
different.
it's business projects. It's actual business, like oil business projects to give Americans jobs. That's my understanding. It's not excuse me. It's not
Bless you.
buying securities and shit. I don't know. I could be wrong. Might need to look it up on chat real quick, but it's actual, like one dude was going to put in a brand new thing in Oklahoma, brand new oil rig or something in Oklahoma, and help us get that oil. So I just feel a little weird with foreign countries being the major investors in the United States. I mean, if we didn't like China doing it, why are we trading China up for the Saudi Arabia? You know what I'm saying? But then again, if they're the homie, then why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, and if we're tied with each other, then there's less likelihood that we're going to get, shut out with oil and stuff like that. So I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think?
I'm
One master
researching
for
right
another?
now.
It depends on how big of a percentage that is.
Mm.
Like, if it's just a drop in the bucket, no. But if
Right.
it's like as much or more as what China was doing, then yes.
Right.
And I think it's just trading in one master for the other, and this is all for show. And welcome to the Hunger Games, boys.
I mean, I've been seeing a lot of things on X about how the cataclysm's coming.
Okay.
And
Oh,
this
it's
is what I
coming.
got for the cataclysm.
This is what I got. This is what I got.
Okay.
Based on the information about the U.S. Saudi deals announced, it's approximately 300 to 600 billion in signed agreements, with 1 trillion figure as pledged is going to be allocated to defense and arms, 142 billion for U.S. arms sales, including Air Force advancements, missile defense systems, maritime security, and training for Saudi forces. So we're going to go train them. Potential discussions for Lockheed Martin F-35 jets, though restricted by military agreements with Israel. So apparently, U.S. and Israel have military agreements, and we're not allowed to give them these jets. But that's what it says. The next thing is artificial intelligence and technology. 10 billion for AMD to build AI infrastructure. An undisclosed amount for NVIDIA to supply 18,000 Blackwell GPUs, which I don't know if you've seen that release. The Blackwell release. Those things are crazy as fuck, bro. The new shit that they made, bro, wild. Investments in AI data centers by Amazon and Google, specific not disclosed, and collaboration with OpenAI and other U.S. tech firms for AI development, no specific figures. Energy and critical minerals, 14.2 billion. 14.2 billion for GE Vernova gas turbines and energy equipment. Investments in critical mineral collaboration not specified. Aviation, nearly 5 billion for Boeing 737-8 jet purchases by Saudi Arabia. So they're gonna buy some jets from us. Space and connectivity authorization.
Well, I mean,
I'm almost done. There's only
Okay.
two more things.
okay.
Authorization for SpaceX Starlink to provide aviation and maritime connectivity.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
And then other investments, broad commitments to infrastructure, manufacturing, and job creation, with no specific breakdowns, but part of the 600 billion pledged, and potential deals involving BlackRock and other U.S. firms. Which that's the part that I think that you were not necessarily too happy about.
Yeah, I mean, like
What does that
Larry
mean?
Fink was there. They had like, you know, a video of all these CEOs and they had, like, you know, Sam Altman and Elon and, you know, the AI people. They had the, you know, chip makers, and then they had BlackRock. You know what I'm saying? I just, what I think is significant about this whole thing, at least I think it's probably a good thing, is simply that maybe, like, it looks like Trump saying, he's like looking at the Middle East and he's like, you know, maybe somebody finally asked Trump, they're like, you know, why are we so buddy with Israel? Like, I think somebody probably finally was like, hey man, Saudi Arabia's got a lot of resources. MBS is the homie. You know what I'm saying? Dubai, UAE is super capitalist. They ain't fucking around with anybody. You know, why do we keep doing what I mean, it just seems like that's what's going on. Like, Trump's like, look, I want peace in the Middle East. Israel's not helping. I'm going to go around them. I'm going to talk to the other nations. But my question is
very, very, very convenient timing for Kanye's HH to drop, by the way. Very interesting. Just comedic relief.
Kanye might have back channels. I think he does.
Kanye might know.
No, I mean, he's not
Kanye's
Ben Kushner, but
Kanye's predicting geopolitical events with his music.
his next song is going to be about Iran and Syria. Well, that was the other big thing, is that Trump's like saying, all right, Syria, all right, you won the war. Like, let's do it. All right. No more of this ISIS. No more of this shit. Let's be friends. Let's make you rich. And he's saying the same thing about Iran. He's saying, look, no nukes. You can't have the nukes, but if you say no nukes, we'll have a deal, and we'll help you get bigger. So I don't know. I mean, what's the whole thing that's interesting about it is just that, like, Israel's out in the cold on this whole thing, and it kind of happened suddenly. So I don't know. What do you guys think of that? Do you think it's a tactic? Do you think that there's, you know, we really are Israel really has finally, you know,
it's
done the
over
final
for
straw?
From a purely business standpoint, bro. How big is Israel compared to Saudi Arabia, Iran, Syria? Like, think about it. Just
it's not about business though for Trump right now.
I know. But just think about it in let's break it down one by one. Geological landmass. All right. Potential resources, collaboration, like thinking about the future. Like, okay, if we just have an ally of Israel and that excludes us from all of these other countries because it's really small, by the way. Right. Israel's not a very big country. So, and
their biggest thing is desalinization, and they don't share that with the U.S. So that
Israel,
pisses me off,
you gotta share the desal. Come on, if you don't want this to happen to you,
it makes me so mad.
Gotta share the desal.
But, bro, listen, again, all this shit is cute. All that shit is cool, bro. It all means nothing to Trump. Trump is about loyalty, and Bibi went behind his back and used him as big bro without his knowledge. And that to Trump, that's it. You're dead to him, bro. To me, I think it's over for Bibi with Trump. I think you don't get those chances again. And I think he proved it
Yeah.
by signing this deal.
This deal, because I mean, Mike Waltz was the guy, and we all said it from the beginning. I mean, everybody was saying it. If you're in the Liberty, kind of crowd, we were all like, "Why is Mike Waltz the freaking NSA dude?"
Listen,
dude is
the
like
thing that I'm most
super hardcore anti-Iran. Hold on, the
thing
super
I'm-
hardcore anti-Iran. It's like, why is this guy even in this administration? Then he does the whole fucking Signalgate thing, which is a fucking weird thing. And then on top of that, they find that they had back channels to Bibi. So it's like,
This is why I think it could be also not a good thing, because what if this deal is the thing that sets in motion an excessive aggressive force by Israel, right? Like, what if the people were playing the other side of this? They're like, okay, well, how do we make war happen? Doesn't matter where or who's involved, but if we just cut Israel out and make
why I think
peace
you're wrong?
with the Middle East, well, maybe Israel will do some shit and we'll get war anyway.
You know why I think
You
you're wrong?
understand?
Because Israel can't poke its chest once America's gone. Israel, like you're saying, is fucking tiny, my bro. It doesn't have that much. It has the Iron Dome. That's where the big money is spent in their military, right? Like, they have a military, sure, but they don't get to pipe up if America's on the other side of the aisle. Because if they pipe up to America, it's not going to be war, my bro. It's going to be a fucking invasion.
I mean, my
gonna
biggest
be new.
fear, yeah, that's my biggest fear, is that they decide to go Samson option
They're
and
just
they
gonna
nuke
drop
Iran on
the
their
nuke.
own.
They're going
And
to
then you
launch
got-
all of them in all of the states that they hate all at once. Just fucking send it.
Israel?
I mean,
Yes.
because they're out for death, man. It's a death cult. Like the Likud side of this thing is a death cult. Like, I feel like they want the end times to come. I mean, that's the prophecy. The whole world turns on Israel, right? I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying that's my biggest fear, is that they just say fuck it. Like,
Nostradamus said.
yeah. It's like, yeah, if we can't have it, I mean, they say the Revelation has it.
They have between 80 and 400 nuclear warheads. So yeah, I mean, if you
decide, man,
80 is enough for fucking destruction almost globally.
I'm going to tell you. You know what happens when they launch them, right? The U.S. gets a fucking alert that says, hey, nukes have been launched towards your area. And then the fucking whole place gets wiped off the map and those nukes get intercepted. Watch.
Hopefully.
America is
Hopefully.
not the one to play.
Is
this. I don't think
Yo,
this is not, we're not talking about them going
I'm
to
making-
war with Saudi Arabia, bro.
making
We're
a
talking
prophecy.
about the U.S., bro.
I'm
Like,
I'm
the
making a
U.S. will wipe anyone off the map. And if you think you could launch a nuke and get them first, you're fucking tripping.
I'm making a prophecy. Nuclear weapons get used and disabled by aliens, and aliens come down, and that's disclosure.
Project Bluebeam. It's all fake.
The
And they're setting it up.
world devolves to nuclear war, and the first couple missiles launch, and nothing happens, and then everything goes crazy.
This may be a discussion for hopefully who we can get on next week. Special guest. I can't say the name right now because not because
We don't know if
whatever.
we
I'm just
got him
saying
for
I don't want to
sure.
commit him to something that he may not be on. But if we can get our friend Red Panda Koala
Fucking
man.
said
I
it
don't want
wrong.
to say his name
Say it
right
wrong.
now.
If you're listening, bro, you know you are. I'd love to have you on for some UAP talk next week.
Of course he knows.
'Cause-
You named him.
I know. I'm not gonna say what kind
I'm not going to say it's Red
UAP
Koala
expert.
Panda. Oh, man. That was great. That was great.
Oh man. Oh well, shit.
Hour and a
Man,
half.
time flew. We talked for an hour and a
Right?
half already.
7 o'clock. Yeah.
Holy crap. Hopefully I can. Hopefully tomorrow, finally making some moves in my life where I can be free, baby. Be free from this burden.
I wish I had Freebird queued up right now.
We can't play it because we have to
'Cause
play the
YouTube.
AI remix version of Freebird. But anyway, well,
Suno to recreate Freebird.
Daddy, chill. Daddy, chill.
All right. Well, listen. Just want to say a couple of things before we mosey on out of here. Free our black men.
Free Tory Lanez. He got stabbed. He probably shouldn't be in there. There's conspiracy around this case. And
Free Tory till it's backwards. He's fucking innocent. Wasn't his gun. Even if it was his gun, he's done enough time already, bro. He didn't
show me the
discharge
DNA
his gun.
results.
The DNA results said it wasn't his. There's a random unknown DNA on the gun, but it's not Tory's. He had no GSR on his arms. Suck my dick. Free fucking Tory, bro. Free the fucking